Okay, the DHCP now has the IP address, and then the DHCP server on its own, we have managed to configure it, right? So once you hover on the DHCP server, on the server, you can see gateway there, DNS server, the information. Okay, so we are about to assign an IP address to our wireless LAN controller, right?
My DNS service is not set.
Yeah, you have to go back and set the DNS server.
Go to config or desktop.
So you can go to desktop and then check here if you assign the DNS server IP address.
10.00.10.
Yeah. Not set. Wait, if you're here, like not set here.
Yeah. Okay. No, wait. When you put the cursor next to the save.
It says not set.
Yeah. And when we go the line, it's set.
Line number not set, but DNS server must be there.
Oh, no, mine now is fine. Mine is fine.
Line zero. Line number must be the only one that says not set, because we didn't set the line number. Yeah, line number not set. Okay. Once you're done with the server, move to the WLAN controller. So this is how the wireless LAN controller looks like. Let me zoom in. It looks like this. And then go to config. There are so many interfaces, but this time we're not assigning IP address to the interface. We are assigning the IP address to the management portal. So go to management. By default, the wireless LAN controller comes with an IP address, right? The one that you can use to manage. But you can see now, the IP address of the wireless LAN controller is on a different subnet from us, right? We're on a /8. This one is a 240, must be like /30 something. Must be /30 somewhere there. So it's on a different subnet. So we can't be able to access it. So now let's change that. What is the IP address of the DNS server? Sorry, of the wireless LAN controller? 11, right? 10.0.11. And then subnet mask? It's at 10.0.0.11.
Okay. And the subnet or change it to
Alright. I got too excited and then I added many periods there now. I have to 10.0.0.11, right? What's wrong now? 10.0.0.11.
What is the subnet?
No, the IP config address.
Oh, mine is
When I type it in the
10.0.0.254, right? 10.0.0. The DNS server is 10, right? 10. Okay. So now the management IP address is 10.0.11. So now when we are on the browser and then we want to control the wireless LAN controller, we want to configure the wireless LAN controller, we have to type in the IP address of the wireless LAN controller on the browser. Okay, let's close this.
So it's set now.
Now it's set. Go to the PC.
Okay, I took a laptop.
Go to the PC, yeah. Click on it and then look for the browser. Web browser. Web browser. And then type in the IP address of the Wireless LAN controller. Wireless LAN control. Because that's the one that we want to manage now. The IP address of the wireless LAN controller. That is what? .11, right? And then go.
/8.
No slash. Actual IP address now. And then click on go or enter. Suppose you take us to the wireless LAN controller portal. Request timeout. Oh, okay, sorry. The PC doesn't have an IP address, so it can't communicate with the wireless LAN controller. First, we need to give it an IP address. Oh, sorry, that's why.
Yeah, but we use DHCP, right?
So yeah, now let's just go there and then DHCP, request an IP address. There, here's the IP address, but the problem is not getting the default gateway. But it's fine, we are not gonna access no internet or anything.
My DHCP is not coming up with the correct numbers.
Same with mine. That's why I hate using the DHCP server, especially on packet tracer. 192.
Yes.
Mine says 10.0.01.
I got the .01
Yeah,
as
same
well.
here.
So you see, the DHCP now, we said our IP address you have to start from what? From 100, right? But it's starting from 1 on my side.
Yeah,
So that's why
So I think
yours is 2.
Mine isn't even in the same network. So I don't know.
It's not the same network.
No, 192.168 is my DHCP coming in.
Go check again on the DHCP server, which
Why does it say that it's successful?
Wait.
On the side, on the
DHCP request
successful.
must be successful. If it's a 192, must be successful.
Did you see that successful?
yeah,
Needs to start it.
request is successful. Yeah, DHCP. I haven't said that.
No, mine says fail.
Say Phil. Yeah, so
Mine doesn't have anything. Yeah, I know next.
Did you click the date?
okay, the default gateway, there is nothing 00, right? Default is 0.
Is it default what?
Default gateway is what? 00, right?
Yeah.
Same with mine, I have a 00. Every time when I use the DHCP, I usually get the 00. That's why I prefer using the router. Right. But it's fine because we don't need the default gateway. We're gonna be local. It's a flat network. We're not accessing any other networks. Right. So make sure that's a 10, right?
Yeah.
Must be a 10.
10 women.
On the GPS.
Not the server.
No, okay, sorry. I'm saying it must be under the 10.0.0.0/8. So it can't be any IP address on the PC. Check, are you winning?
I just found it static because I don't know why it's not working.
The problem now, the access point, they will request for an IP address from the DHCP server, and then they will also get the wrong IP address. So the entire network now
So is it something
be affected.
server DHCP?
So go back to the server now. Yeah. Make some changes there.
Okay, but you see, so
Yeah, you told me that, but I don't understand what to do.
So, okay, sorry. There's the DHCP server, right? We go to services, and then DHCP. Check the pool that you created, right?
So
The di-
I labeled mine a little bit differently to you. Cisco.
Yeah.
I called mine something else, but I haven't did 254
And then
10 under that.
the default gateway, what's the IP address for that?
10.0.0.254.
Okay, the services, is it on here? This part, it's on. And then default gateway DNS server.
10.0.0.10.
Okay. And then start IP address.
10.0.0.100. And then
Okay.
255.0.0.0.
Maximum number of users, how many do you have? 512. WLC is assigned, right?
Yeah, it's 10.0.0.11. And then I said save and it moved to the bottom.
So you have 2 pools here, right? You have the server pool and then the one that you created.
Yes.
Kindly switch off the DHCP server and switch it back on, and then go to the PC. Switch it off and on, and then we go to the PC now.
It's also failed.
Failed again. There is something wrong here. Okay, does the GSCP have an IP address first? Let's start there.
The server now.
The server, yeah. Does it have an IP address? On the desktop, yeah.
So my top, then IPv4 thing.
Yeah.
I know, I have nothing there.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, what is it supposed to be? Is it supposed to be the 10?
Yeah.
Mine is working.
Yours is working now. Let me also try to change a check on mine. It's supposed to get let me switch it off and back on. Okay, mine I'm
Okay,
still.
now it's right. It's
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so let's ping the WLAN controller. Wireless LAN controller. We are on the PC, right? On PC 0. PC 0. So this is our management PC, right? This is the PC that we use to manage our network here.
Yes.
And then command prompt, ping the wireless LAN controller. It's a .11, right? Okay. I'm gonna get a timeout. Okay, fine. It's working. Okay, I lost one packet, right? I'm gonna lose one packet. Let me ping my server.
Sorry, what did you say, please?
First I pinged the wireless LAN controller, which is a .11, and then now I'm pinging the server, which is a .10. So okay, 5 packets successful. So yeah.
Okay, I'm getting the 10, but not the 11.
Okay, well, mine says 4. But
Yeah, 4 is fine, yeah. That means you lost one packet, you know.
No,
It's a delay.
so fast. Getting 4 out of 4.
So there's a problem.
Yeah, receipt 4.
No, it's fine.
When do you guys get 5?
Yeah, sometimes.
Getting 4.
Okay, once you get those TTL, like the bytes 32 times 31, whatever, once you get that, that means there is communication between the two devices. Right.
So why did the first one?
Why did you get 5?
I didn't lose
There's something wrong with
You know, you can also specify how many replies you can get from the server, right? There is a command that you can type in. Yeah, the package, how many you get from the server. You can say maybe continuous, so it will keep on pinging until you stop it. Or you can specify, but default is supposed to be 5. 4, 5, somewhere there by default.
Go with 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
why did you lose one packet from the wireless LAN controller?
That was a delay.
Was it because of the delay?
Yeah, the delay. What's the term? There's another term for that. But it's just a delay from the wireless LAN controller responding.
Sent on the first one.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the browser now. The IP address of the wireless LAN controller .10. What just happened? Oh, the wrong one. It's 11, not 10. So you see, now this is the DNS server, right? So if you want to check that your DNS server is working, you can type in maybe, let's say, cisco.com. So this is how you check, and then it will respond like this. But I'm not looking for DNS. I want the wireless LAN controller. 11.
Why did it still go in with the 10?
It's communicating with the DNS server. Yeah.
Now I see it changed to Cisco 3005. Why are you to 2.5?
Do we see the Cisco portal, right? I don't know what's happening with mine. I'm still waiting.
Mine is still typing
Come on. Yeah. Even mine is not going through. Okay. So while it's up, there are so many delays, right? And mine is
bingo. Finally.
No, this one's it's more fun.
okay. I don't know what's happening with mine.
No, mine works.
It just
I
needs
was
to
trying
take time.
CISCO.com to see if it was gonna continue.
Oh, 10 to. Oh, finally.
It just needed time.
So now we are on the wireless LAN controller portal, right? We need to create a username and then the password. All right. Just write anything. So usually we use, okay, I will use admin as my username, right? And then you can see the password must contain at least 6 characters, including uppercase, lowercase. If you don't follow that, you won't be able to create a password there. So let me create a password. Create your own password there that you remember. Because if you forget your password, you won't be able to log in again. So start. See, we're in now. Inside the wireless LAN controller. So the password another password. So okay, like if you need a password, right? Here's the password. Cisco and then 1, 2, 3. capital letter C and then exclamation mark 1, 2, 3. So at least you have uppercase, you have the sun, numbers, that will work. Okay, system name. So we're configuring the wireless LAN controller now. We're giving it a name, right? Just give it any name, right? My WLC. Any name, sure. Maybe it's on first floor or second floor, whatever. Maybe net one. Just a system name. Time zone, which one must we choose? We are not in Jerusalem, right? Which one is ours?
My country does not change.
The country also that. No, let's just leave it for now. I tried to change that yesterday. And then the date, is it correct there? It is correct, right? Yeah. So time zone, which one?
It doesn't have a hour. It's supposed to be a hour.
So okay, let's leave it like that. And then management IP address. What's our management IP address?
10, 8 is 8.
The 8 is the subnet.
Oh, that's a subnet. Oh.
So the IP address of the .11. So this is the same when you are managing the home router, right? Like you buy a D-Link, you buy a Huawei device. If you want to change anything on that router, you type in the IP address of what? Of the router. It looks exactly like this. It's just this one you have more control of the network. Right. And then our subnet mask. .0.0. And then add the default gateway. It's a /8. The IP address of the wireless LAN control. Yeah. All right, looks like we have all the information that we need here. And then, okay, the NTP server is like your network time protocol server, right? So the logs, these ones, where are they? The critical logs and whatever happens in time in our work environment, if this is configured, so all the logs will have like the correct time on all of our systems, right? If someone tries to log in, let's say around 1 p.m., we want that information, right, to show it, okay, they tried to log in around 1 p.m., right? And then it has to link in with whatever time they logged in a work environment. So the time must be correct always. So this is the protocol that manages the time on all the devices. Right? But now we don't have that server, so let's just leave it like that. And then next. Yeah, leave it blank. Now, this is the network name, this part, network name, this is the SSID. This SSID is the, next. The SSID is the Wi-Fi name, the service set identifier, the Wi-Fi name. So what is your Wi-Fi name? Let me just say net1. Right, maybe it's guest or just net1. So this is what the on your phone, yeah. This is the SSID. Give it any name. So the network name, the Wi-Fi name. And then security, we have two options. We have the WPA2, which is the personal. Personal only requires what? The passphrase. Just type in the password and then confirm that. And then we have the second option, which we use in bigger organizations, right? Which is the enterprise. So if we click on enterprise, you see it now wants the IP address of the AAA server. Remember what you said about the AAA server? Was it this class or the another class? AAA server is the protocol that we use for the first A stands for authentication, right? The second one, authorization. The third one, accounting. So authentication, you type in your username and password. The system checks, okay, do we have this user on our database? If we have your information on the database, the system gives you access to our network, right? And then authorization, which department do you fall under? Under HR, right? HR, they have resources that they can only access. And then IT, they have resources that they can only access. So authorization, because we have a username, we can put you in groups and say, okay, since you are under HR, you are only authorized to do ABC, right? You are allowed to print, you're allowed to access this document, you're allowed to access this software because you're what? Under that group. So first it is authentication. The system checks, do we have you on our server? Right? Since you are authenticated on our network, what is it exactly that you are authorized to do? Which resources do you have access to? And then if something goes wrong, somebody must be accountable to that, right? So that's where accounting comes in. We note, okay, so and so was using this laptop at this time. NTP server, right? Network time protocol keeps track of the time. Okay, this thing was done at this time by so and so. So that's the AAA. So what happens here, once you type in your username or the password, the system takes that password and checks with the database that we have. Do we have your username and the password a part of our network? If you exist in that network, then you gain access to our network. But if the system doesn't have your username and password, then you don't have access. So only the employees will be able to access this particular Wi-Fi, right? But we don't have a AAA server now, so we're going to use a WPA2, which will only allow or request for SSID and then the password. So type in the password for this is the password for your Wi-Fi, right? The other one was for you to manage the wireless LAN controller. This one is for the Wi-Fi, right?
It's not.
Don't forget the password, right? Because we need that password, like to type it in the the smart devices and then the tablet to log in. And if you ask me for your password, I don't even know your password, right? I won't be able to help. And then VLAN management is VLAN, just leave it like that, right? Unless if your company requires you to change that.
You don't add the DHCP since it says optional.
No. We're not adding that now. And then next, virtual IP address. I don't usually change that unless my company requires me to do that. But the virtual IP address, I don't, just leave it like that. Okay, next. Next, until you are on this platform. Please, so now this is the summary of what we have been doing now, right? You can see username, admin, system name, my WLC, and then the country. So this is a summary of what we've been doing so far, right? And then say apply. Once you apply, the system will kick you out, right? Apply.
Say system will reboot.
Exactly, right? Say okay. Wi-Fi is easily. Wi-Fi is easy to set up. Okay, let's close this.
Or we can close around saving.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Should we close one?
Because you know,
But it won't stop. It will always keep on doing that. It won't stop. You want to wait? Yeah, you can wait. Okay, so we have managed this, right? So I want to go back and log in now. That's why I closed it. Okay. But now, when back on the web browser, on the PC, the management PC, because you didn't want to close it, but now we have to log back in. So now, we are no longer using HTTP, because HTTP is not secure, right? Information won't be encrypted, but we have to use the one that is secure, which is the protocol HTTPS, right? And then colon, and then wake 10.0.0. Yeah, colon, and then / 2 of them. HTTPS colon, and then what is that? Is that a colon? Oh, yeah. The 2 doors, right? Is it a colon, right? What is it?
It's possible.
Yeah, wake, and then yeah. Yeah. It is, right? Okay. 2 / and then so now the portal must be different, right? We must get a different portal.
Wait, which are you using?
So we want to manage the wireless LAN control. So the IP address of the wireless LAN control, and then go. It usually takes time. Okay, there.
Oh, you do. Mine says time out.
Time out now. Is it HTTPS?
Oh, minus HTTP.
No, yeah, it won't allow you HTTP. It has to be HTTPS. When you are connecting for the second time, it must be HTTPS. Yeah. HTTPS, right?
For the first time,
HTTPS. No, for the first time, you just type in the. That is the DNS server. That one. Looks like you. What is the IP address of the wireless LAN controller?
It's 10.0.0.11.
Must be 11, right? But that information comes when you type in the IP address of the DNS server. So just close that and then retype again. You did something wrong there. What is the error message?
I still on the timeout. And this must have go.
Yeah, retry. Yeah, try again. Okay, log in now. You see, there is a pop-up box. Authentication required. Username and password. Don't tell me you forgot your password. This one is the admin now. The admin. The other one, the second one was for what? For the Wi-Fi, right?
Wait, which one is for the Wi-Fi?
The second one.
So the second one is for the Wi-Fi.
For the Wi-Fi, yeah.
Really, the first one, yeah.
Wait. What is the username?
But you have to do the first password.
So you have to remember the username and the password because we need. So type in your username and password.
I went to vote one down. Hey, what is it? Okay, this is very confusing.
I can't be right.
So what's your username?
What did he use for
Net one was because net one on my side was what the Wi-Fi name. Admin. Mine was admin. So do we see this, right? Try to ping 11 first. It was successful back then, right?
Because I'm thinking maybe I can just.
You forgot username, the password.
I can remember IP addresses, not passwords.
That's why you write it down.
Got it?
So I said you must remember your password.
The first one was talk.
Come this side.
Yes. Just a moment. Just a
Sorry, Malabi. And you don't laugh, this will happen to you. You get to that age. You get to that age.
No.
This is the first one or the second one?
The first one. The first one.
Yeah.
Not the second one.
You tried so many, right?
Unless we delete the wireless that control.
Yeah.
I want to go. I haven't gone eaten. But it's not not like each other. I have one that's
Let's just take out that wireless that control. I now the password you don't hear you. But this is the one that's going to
No, I'm not. hopefully use a name because
The IP address was wrong. I can't help with that, you know. So the thing with password and usernames, I can't help with that, right?
But others, we can just start it was like we give with that other people to get the code.
You can't.
username is not draw.
My password is my work password.
Yeah, but your work password changes every 30 days, so what you gonna do in 2 months from now? It's not gonna be your work password anymore. Yeah, and even though Jason would do washing, I wanted to beg you. Maybe you know that's not how it rolls. Why don't you just that's not very when have you been speaking this before? It's not really because those two be other one. No, that's listen, I can tell you, you're not cleaning the kitchen. They don't and you every room
My work password. That's also yeah.
It's CISCO, but it's the nation one.
So mine was CISCO.
So what's the
I changed the password. Then I put it in for the second one. Yeah, so I use it to make work.
You know what, this one, they don't have our code station. They will come in from 8 o'clock in the morning.
First time, my username.
Have our weekend station.
if it's not the
So now. No, it is a part. But it's just part. No, I want to take a part.
No, but everybody can use it.
I'd much rather come in longer.
Doesn't have a complete password thing.
I never stopped. I never ever stopped. Thank you, Mike.
That's why this one, after you try that out, try it on control as one. I think it's your web password because you were laughing at me. You say that's your web password, and I said no, it's not your password. You have the last one. Make sure that you are checking the right things. No, it's too long. Why are you saying it? Let me say it. First number.
Okay, so we are all on this page, right? Under monitor, right? So now we can monitor or we can manage our wireless LAN controller. The ROC summary. So it shows you, let's say there is a hacker who has just plugged in their own device close to your network, right? It can pick up all the access points that don't belong to you, that maybe someone else have added to your network. It can pick them up, right? And then the access points here, it says 0 in total. Supposed to show us the number of access points that he is managing. But for now, access point summary is not managing anything, right? So it's not connected to any access point. Why? Because we haven't plugged them in, right? So there's no access point that is managing at the moment. All right, and then WLANs, this is the Wi-Fi names. I'm sure it takes time to open these pages. I don't know. On my side, it's way too slow. Under WLANs, what do you find? What's the
type is the profile name net one.
Mine is still trying to open that page.
Wide LAN, SSID is net one, then admin status enabled.
And
then the security policy is WPA2.
Okay, so now we have, you can see I have only one Wi-Fi name, right? So if I want to add guest or I want to add another Wi-Fi name, you can click on go and then create another one. But don't create another one. Let's first see if the first one works. right? Once we get this one right, then we can add the guest and stuff like that. If you want to remove it, you can remove it there and then start from scratch. So, okay, let's minimize this and then, okay, before we minimize, sorry. If I go back to monitor, the most important part, takes time to open this page.
Very slow though.
It's way too slow. Come on. So I'm interested only on the access points, right? How many access points this WLAN controller is controlling at the moment, right? It says 0, right? So now let's go and connect the access points. Yeah, I can minimize, yeah. You see, mine is still trying to open. Oh, after a while. Okay, let's connect these. Which type of cable do you think they use?
The phone one, or the either between the phone or the
Says-
copper crossover.
Copper straight through cable, right?
What?
Copper straight through cable. It uses copper straight through cable. Yeah.
Which company you choose?
Any number. Any number, just connect to it. Yeah, connect it to the switch. Any number. Yeah. All right. You can see the interface is red, right? What does that mean? Interface is down, right? So on the router, what do we do to switch on the interface? Go to the interface gig 0, right? After that, no shutdown, no shut, right? If you're writing a Cisco exam, no shutdown. In a production environment, no shut, right? But this guy, that's not how we switch him on, right? So click the lightweight access point and then zoom in. So these devices, they use the cable that is called the power over Ethernet cable, right? The PoE. That Ethernet cable comes in with power, transfer power and data at the same time, right? But now we don't have that cable. We have a power cable down here. So we can drag that power cable and then plug it to that part there. You see the color change.
Okay, we just do that with everyone.
With everyone, yeah.
What color should change?
You see, it's changed now. It's green now.
Oh, I see.
Meaning that the interface is in.
The arrows, they also change direction. So the
Yep.
arrows now showing up.
Yeah. Did you plug it in the power cable?
Yes.
Are you using the lightweight access point? LAP-PT.
Yes, I'm using that one.
Okay, try the next one. Okay, let's do that with all the interface. Okay, there. Plug in the power.
Oh, no,
It's fine now. Okay, color changes. So after like few minutes, this guy must have an IP address, right? So once we plug it in, switch this device on, it sends out it goes through the DORA process, right? Request for IP address from the server. You don't have to configure him. You don't have to assign him an IP address. So now hover on the LAPT and see if he has an IP address now.
Yeah.
And then the language of love there, right? The CAPWAP, what does it say?
Connected to 10.0.11.
Who is 11? The controller. Wireless LAN controller, right? So now that means he's receiving instructions from the wireless LAN controller. They have connected now. right? And then let me check all. Or the second one on my side isn't communicated with the wireless LAN controller. So we say this device, once you switch it on, the first thing that it looks for is an IP address. After that, it says, okay, who's my manager in this network? Then he looks for the wireless LAN controller. And then the third one, I still don't have the CAPWAP status, not connected. The second one, not connected. Mine is slow.
Even mine is not showing.
Only the first one is connected, right?
Can I ask you a question with these IP addresses?
Yeah.
So what is the IP address for my DHCP?
Server.
But
Yeah.
then why didn't it start after 100?
That's why I said on the packet tracer, I don't usually use the server, right? Because even my default gateway, my devices are not receiving any default gateway. But every time when I use the router, they all receive that information. If I say exclude this, if I say start from 10, every device will start from that.
Because now all of them started from 1.
Same with me. Or everything starts from 1. But I excluded like all the 1 from 1 to 100. So I don't know what's happening with the TCP server. Must be the problem with the packet tracer. But on a production environment, the TCP server will work fine.
Okay.
But we don't use the CISCO servers on the production environment. Microsoft is one of the biggest companies when it comes to the servers. They have server 2016, 2019. Yeah, we have 2019. So we can use the 2019. Fine. Okay, let's see. Okay, CAPWAP, my second AP. Here's the information of the LAN controller. So all of them now, they're sorted. Right? So we have these 3 guys. They just came in to our network now, right? They want to connect wirelessly, right? They want to connect. Click on this smart device. Config. Okay, if you go to desktop, you see says IP address DHCP, but they are not even getting the IP address from the DHCP server, right? So click on the on config and then wireless 0, and then the SSID is the Wi-Fi name. What is your Wi-Fi name?
Wait, I'm lost. Where are you?
I'm on config. So Wi-Fi name, SSID is your Wi-Fi name, right? What's your Wi-Fi name? Type your Wi-Fi name there. So SSID stands for Set Service Identifier, which is the Wi-Fi name. Which is the Wi-Fi name. And then, do you still remember your Wi-Fi name, right?
Yes.
And then what type of authentication did you use?
The WPA2.
So click on the WPA2.
Do you choose the PSK one or the one at the bottom?
The WPA2 PSK.
PSK.
And then the password of your Wi-Fi. So wait for it. This what happened now? I wanted to see some magic.
And then after that, the next step.
Boom! He's connected now. That's nice. Finally.
Wait, nothing's happening with mine.
Give it time. So they are sending
After the password.
We don't save.
after the password, you don't save anything, just leave it like that.
It's connected to the first one. I'm connected to the first IP.
So what they do, they connect to the closest access point. So they keep on sending the Wi-Fi signal, the request for connecting. Just give it time. There's some bit of delay there. Yeah, WPA2 PSK, yeah. That's the authentication that we use. So do the same thing with all the devices. Let them connect to the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Connect them to the Wi-Fi network. Config wireless on this one. Net one. Yeah, go to the next device. Make sure all of them they connect to your network. So on my side, all of them are connecting to one device.
What were you doing to delete? I delete the cable there just so it can connect anyone.
Yeah, delete. Okay. So
Okay, now it shows two different
access points.
Yeah, each device is like it's using a different one.
Alright, so all the devices are connected to Wi-Fi now.
Smartphones refuse to connect.
Smartphone. Check the password.
But you can check what the
Another device, not a smartphone.
So I teach you. So I teach you. We've already made this. So I teach you. The servers too full. That's right. The server can't enable the the information when you can't allocate the file anymore. The file got lost.
CD to that
Internet. Last time I'm gonna double the price because now I'm here.
Itunya
You must put the
Oh yeah, whatever it is.
just about
Yeah, I use the same also.
When you see these laptops don't have Wi-Fi. It doesn't have. This has internet and
the simple one. We have two usernames and two passwords. The first one has to manage the phone. I remember the process.
Okay, and then
You love Yo, 6 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, all of them.
then I connect I connect
But you know why it's not working?
Wait, that is scared as you are. Listen to his listen to each other. Because what he says sounds just like
What do you mean sounds like me?
or it is like I
Like a Christmas.
But come and see this. Why is it doing this if I do the simulation? Like, showing the basic.
when it was ready.
Okay,
Oh yeah. Wait, put it up there. Why is it there? First today plus today.
That's fine. It only took work in the morning.
I think maybe your password is wrong.
Yeah, but that's
There's
another.
It's the username you must use. So try the same thing. Yes, wireless.
I never go anymore. Mind you, I don't shop anymore.
Yeah, first change. So the username. Then go to
I haven't been shopping in a long time. Last time I bought anything in the shop was in October. When I bought
first day.
These are the ones wrapped about with the fruit.
So everything this time is fine.
Yeah, no, you're not
No, they actually play outside. No, see, I'm not doing
So that was what
You're supposed to do that fucking lines.
I did the same password. So yeah, we see double check them on them.
I can see the exit bracket.
And then you can
So this one is but this one
Always the same one. Always the same one.
I usually use the other one to check it's gonna connect.
Oh,
Okay, almost two. So a few minutes to two. Okay, so now check this. Okay, I've showed you before, right? This, let's say this interface. So all these guys are relying on what? One access point, right? So this interface, yeah.
So I have two smartphones and one tablet. So the smartphone and the tablet is connected to one, and the other one is connected to another one. So two of my access points are being used.
Yeah. So what happens is all these devices will keep on switching the access points, right? It will connect to the access point that is closer to it. Right? But okay, don't worry about the distance that we have there. But in the actual environment, right? If he's closer to access point one, then you'll connect to access point one. Once you move to the second floor and then now access point one becomes far, he says, I switch to what? To the closest one. So check here. If this interface goes down now, right? We have an intern who's Bob now. He disconnects this. Right. You see, the devices now look for what? For the closest available. I said Bob. Bob. We have a Bob, an intern. We have an intern called Bob, so he keeps on messing up our network. So always. Now he's restricted on the server room.
When we use the simulation, why does it show the X's on the envelope?
There?
The X's, when you select simulation.
If I select simulation, this one.
And then when you play it, why is it showing X's?
Which axis?
Just press play.
Yeah, play.
You see those X's, why does it do that? What's missing?
So these are different protocols. If you check somewhere here, it shows we have the DHCP, we have the ARP, we have the PGP. Where is that part? shows me the color of every.
Oh, okay. One of them.
So you see the pink, is it pink? Is this pink, right? So this is the STP, spanning tree protocol. So what happens on the switch here? The switch keeps on sending out messages. The interface of the switch, they need to have like the king of the jungle. We call it the designated interface. So they keep on sending each other messages.
Okay, one of them just had a tick.
Yeah, so they'll be rejecting and say, okay, I'm not what? The king of the jungle, I'm not the designated interface. So you look at the color of this message and then check this side. It's pink, then STP. And then at the top here, I have this is the yellow one, right? So it says JCP. So there is a smartphone that was requesting an IP address from the JCP.
One of them shows the cap.
The Cape Web. So we say that's the language of love between what? The access point and then the wireless LAN controller. So they keep on sending each other messages. Okay, let me stop that. Come back to real time. So let me reconnect my interface. Okay, cool guys. I think we're done for today, right?
Okay. So next week, what are we submitting something?
Okay, we're submitting the DSCP relay, right? We said during the week we have to do DSCP relay. So let me send you the lab now, and then it also comes with instructions, right? Just follow the instructions. If you're not able to configure it, then we're gonna configure it next week together in class.
Next week is 20th. I don't have that. So we also have to give in the assignment.
So the 20th we're submitting formative. Okay, cool. So next week is submitting formative.
What we call this, what we're working on today.
The WLAN, wireless LAN. Yeah.
It's like a report about it. It's just like,
Yes, I'm giving you DSCP relay, right? A lab for DSCP relay. It comes with instructions, same with SSH. Where is it? Yeah.
No, I changed my mind because